Yeah, I think it's time for the comeback. I hope you're ready for the, yeah, I see it's time. Press play on the tape, no rewind. No delay, put it all on the line. Only going up, ain't no room for the climb. Meet me at the top, or you won't never see me. I'm making dreams come true like a genie. I'm making moves soon, you gon' have to king me. Checkmate, crown, you gon' have to bring me.
Let's go. Welcome into the 2023 Fantasy Football Team Previews. I'm your host, Dylan Clemons. Here with me tonight is my co-host, Mike LaPlant. What's up, my friend?
Hola, amigo. Not much. Ready to talk some team previews, and we got a good one here with the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl winners of last year.
Yes, sir. Couldn't be more hyped to talk about another team. But before we get started, I'd like to remind you, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We really do appreciate it. And after we do that, head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans and check out our memberships that we got going on over there. We got award-winning rankings where we actually had Keith Lott finish as the #1 ranked fantasy baseball ranker preseason, right, Mike? I think it was.
Yeah,
last season. Yep. And then you get direct access to us in our Discord channel where we're always popping in there, just shooting the shit with everybody. It's a good time in there.
That's where you get access to the top 5 fantasy pro ranker, Joe Bond, right there, and other people like us.
Yep. And our cheat sheet comes out sometime soon with NFL fantasy football drafts right around the corner. But without further ado, Mike, what do you say if we jump right into this Chiefs offense?
You betcha.
First here we got quarterbacks. Who other? Patrick Mahomes. We got Blaine Gabbert. Dude, he was great last year. What could you say? He finished his QB1. I'm just curious. Do you think someone will be able to dethrone him this year, as in Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts? Or do you? I guess let me rephrase it. Do you have these three in a tier to themselves, or do you have Patrick Mahomes and the other two guys in a tier below them?
That's a good way to phrase that question, because all three of them are in a tier, but okay. I mean, there's a mini tier inside this tier, and it's called Patrick Mahomes tier.
I like that.
Because, I mean, if you're giving me the option of Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts over Mahomes, I want neither. I want Mahomes if I have the option in there. All right, out of these three. But if you're going to make me choose, all right, before I choose, let me give you some cool stats about Mahomes. So this was the second QB1 finish of his 5-year career. All right. So in his 5 years, he's never finished worse than QB7. All right. He's finished QB1 twice. He's finished QB4 twice, and this one 7th. All right. He's just the safest QB in the league right now. But if you had to make me choose, it'd be Jalen Hurts. All right. So since becoming the starter in 2020, this is just stupid. He's increased his passing attempts, passing yards, average catch per pass, passing touchdowns, rushing attempts, rushing touchdowns, and fantasy points per game. All right. I expect him to get even better. And honestly, succeed Allen as the QB2 ultimately probably next year when it comes to drafts, because I mean they didn't even get rid of his butt QB push play. So I mean, he's just going to get another 10 rushing touchdowns. Plus, I think if he can throw for 4,000 plus yards, he hasn't yet in his career. But like I said, he's increased his passing yardage every year. I mean, it's very possible he could do 4,000 this year, and he'd be the one I think that could succeed Mahomes. But like I said, Mahomes is the safest.
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, you can make a case for the other guys, kind of like what you just laid out for Jalen Hurts, but I don't think there's any reason to go elsewhere outside of Mahomes. He even showed Tyreek Hill left the offense, and then what did Mahomes do? He just threw for 5,000 yards last year. It's like it didn't even matter.
And he finished his QB1.
It's just crazy ridiculous, man.
Won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Got the MVP.
Yep.
So I mean, he's another human. I mean, not another human. He's from another planet.
Thank you. He is just another human, Mike.
No, he's not. No, he's an alien. But yeah, no, it's just with Patrick Mahomes at the helm, there's just really no need to run the ball. So I mean, he could easily throw for 4,500, 5,000 passing yards every year.
Yeah, I agree. But let's jump over to the backfield here. And we got Isiah Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Man, what a fall from grace he is. Denetric Price, and we got LaMichael P. Ryan, Mike.
They didn't even approve Clyde's fifth-year option, so yeah, it is a downfall.
It really was, and to think that he was a first-round pick, man. But let's talk about the two guys who are let's talk about Pacheco here. And he had an up and down season last year where McKinnon was vulturing him at times. And we also saw, we can't forget CEH was relevant for the first 4 or 5 games of the season when he was scoring all them touchdowns. Remember that?
Yeah.
But then after that,
you knew by the touchdown rate that it was going to regress to the mean.
Mm-hmm. And we think CEH is most likely out of the picture, Mike. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What type of ceiling do you think Pacheco really has as the RB1 in this backfield? Is it top 12? Is it top 20? What are you thinking here?
Let me give you my answer, and then I'll show you my work afterwards. There's a chance. Yeah, absolutely. There's a chance because he's on a top 5 offense here. So, I mean, there's a chance every year he could get 10, 15 plus touchdowns very, very easily. All right. Confident? No. To be a top 12, yeah, he's a solid RB2, though, because like we said, the offense, for the most part, is going to kind of keep him afloat. Last time the Chiefs had a running back rush for more than 200 plus attempts in a year was Kareem Hunt back in 2017. Mm-hmm. This offense is not predicated on the run. So volume is just not in his favor. So it means he's got to be efficient. For the most part, he is on the ground. He's efficient, but he's also got to get the receptions. All right. That's what's really going to help him be a safer, RB2 or, maybe a late RB1. But if he doesn't get those because McKinnon's back in town here, it's hard to see him getting those targets, barring any injuries. So he's got chance for, 10 plus, 15 plus touchdowns, but you don't bank on touchdowns in fantasy football. You bank on volume. And this is a dual backfield. He's not going to get, the volume of a bell cow back.
Yeah. And he only saw 31% of the snap share last year. Only 5 touchdowns and a 2.7 touchdown rate. But like you said, he needs to see targets, Mike. He only saw 14 targets last year. Not ideal. He caught 13 of his 14 targets. So like you said, he is efficient even in the pass catching department, but there's just not enough volume to go around. It's just, you just never knew which running back was going to score the touchdown. But maybe it flips this year and maybe Pacheco could be the guy. I don't hate where he's going in like best ball drafts right now and the mid RB 20s. I think he's got decent value and I don't hate it as a pick. What do you say we jump into some wide receiver talk here?
This is where it gets worse, but yeah.
This is an interesting talk here, though, man, because Kadarius Toney is I guess you can see what wide receiver 1 in this offense, even though it's really Travis Kelce.
I mean, they're saying he is.
Can we trust it, though, Mike? This is a guy who ran like 5 routes in the Super Bowl last year. You know what I mean? Like, what is... And he hasn't been able to stay healthy, but is he someone that we can trust here?
Well, if I'm being honest here, I kind of combine my answer here with your second question. So why don't you go ahead and ask me the second question too as well?
And, well, I didn't even go through the depth chart, so let me do this real quick. We got Kadarius Toney, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Skyy Moore, Rashee Rice, Justin Watson, Richie James, Justin Ross, and John Ross. What a loaded wide receiver group here. But we got Skyy Moore, caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl last year. Is he a post-hype sleeper this year after a lackluster, let's put it nicely, rookie season last year?
So, yes, simply said, one of these guys is going to have a breakout this year. I mean, it's got to happen because Juju's left. All right, we're talking about somebody who had 66.6% of the snaps last year. All right, and then we lost Mecole Hardman as well. 43.6% of the snaps. So, I mean, there are a lot of snaps to be had here. So there is going to be a breakout. It is going to be difficult who it's going to be, though. All right. Because the thing here is like you said, they got 5 snaps for Toney. I mean, pretty much Skyy Moore got about the same snap percentage in the Super Bowl. All right. But the top 3 postseason snap getters, or however you want to say that, for the Chiefs as their wide receiver group were Kadarius Toney at 33.3%. All right. Oh, my apologies. Not snap getters, but targets per snap. So when they're on the field, this is how many targets they're getting per snap. All right. Toney was the leader at 33.3%. So 33.3% of the time when he's on the field, he's getting the target his way, which is pretty good. Mecole Hardman, 20%. We just talked about him leaving. Next up, Skyy Moore at 12.5%. So they were grooming these guys. We just don't know who it's going to be because, one, Kadarius Toney can't stay healthy. Skyy Moore is a rookie. We haven't really seen much of him. But even so, Kadarius Toney is only, in his second year as well.
Yep.
So it's going to be hard in a redraft perspective. Who do you play per week outside of Travis Kelce? So these are really more of like best ball options, in my opinion, because you never got to choose. Redraft, it's like, I really don't want any of them, honestly. I'll take him as some depth, but I'm not going out and reaching to get these guys just because we know Mahomes spreads it out and we know Kelce is the number one guy.
Yeah.
So, yes, one is going to break out, but good luck guessing who. And if anybody tells you they know, they're lying.
Yeah, sure. I hear you. The guy I want here is Kadarius Toney. I don't think you have to pay too much for him, Mike. We're doing a lot of best balls right now, and he's going in the mid wide receiver 30-ish rounds or pick wide receivers. And I think that's about right. I think that's where he should be going. But I agree. I'm not going out of my way to reach for any of these guys because, like you said, Travis Kelce, and we'll roll right into him.
I will reach for him in some places.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be hard to reach for him when he is a first-round pick already. But do we foresee him giving up the tight end one crown?
What I mean is, like, I'll easily take him and reach for him in best balls is kind of what more I was getting at. But yeah, to answer your question, barring any injury, no. Kelce's he's going just. Oh, excuse me. He's going too early in drafts sometimes. Like I said, I like to reach for him, but at the same time, I'm being ballsy as well. I want a couple shares of him in best ball, just to kind of, grow the percentages. So, unless he's kind of falling to like the 7 to 10 range. All right. That's where I'm taking him unless it's going to be Andrews or Hawkinson, just because I do like to get wide receivers. And just the strategy this year for me is wide receiver heavy early rounds. Now, if you can squeeze a Travis Kelce in there and still get some good wide receivers, absolutely go for it.
Which I think, I totally think you can.
But I mean, realistically, there's not much here to talk about Travis Kelce. He's the number one guy. They got rid of Juju. Like,
best quarterback in football he's played with. It's just
Kelce's got the ability to score 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns any given week. I mean, so it's Kelce or bust if you want Kelce.
Yeah. He is, You used to be able to have a conversation about if he was a first-round pick, like should he fall to the second round. You can't have that conversation anymore because he is a first-round pick, whether it be 8th, 10th, 12th, around. He deserves to be picked around there.
He's a little bit of an anomaly, kind of like Tom Brady was. Like there just wasn't a big drop-off, or the drop-off didn't really come. Like until we see it, Travis Kelce hasn't dropped off.
I know, and he's 33, 34, one of those, and he's
really good at like absorbing hits, knowing how to take a hit. Like he doesn't really get injured too much, which we love here in fantasy.
Yep, absolutely. But that wraps up the Kansas City Chiefs 2023 fantasy football team preview. Before we get out of here, though, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel if you don't already. Make sure you head on over to fantasysixpack.net/plans and check out our memberships. For Mike, I'm Dylan. We'll talk at you next time.
Adios.